Hi. Yeah, going live. Going live. Okay, here we are. So yeah, just want to talk today about I've recently had this experience where I'll put on some music and stuff. I recently had this experience where I was kind of like worried about finding work, and I was worried about if work was going to come, and then basically work came. Work basically came out of nowhere. Yeah, it was quite cool. And yeah, I feel like what that sort of taught me was like believe in yourself, and just like you don't have to look for work necessarily. Work is going to come to you, and that's like what I experienced. So today, I went to this international school, had a meeting with the principal, and I've got like a dozen or so classes at this school, and I'm really happy about it. It's a really good thing. So it was something that I'd been worried about. I'd been thinking that I couldn't get any work, that I couldn't get, that I couldn't get the amount of work that I wanted. There we go. That's better. Yeah. But hang on, is that the right way? Let me just do it the other way, see what happens. I'll just do it the other way. Is that the right way? No, that's not the right way. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Whatever, it's fine. And yeah, so that was like a pretty interesting experience. So I'll just like share pretty much like what happened today. So I left the house at 11 o'clock and went to the subway, rode my little electric bike to the subway. It's getting warmer. And yeah, got on the subway. A couple of people were like staring at me, putting on their mask, like just normal kind of everyday China stuff. And met this guy at the Starbucks. And it was actually pretty funny, the Starbucks today, because I said to this guy, and it was the first Starbucks I ever went to in China, actually. It's kind of a special sort of Starbucks to me in some ways. And I went to the Starbucks and I said to this guy, look, I'll go to the bathroom and then I'll come down and I'll see you. So I went in there and I sort of half thought that this guy would follow me in and maybe buy me a coffee. But surprise, surprise, he's a pretty tight guy. He's a pretty careful guy. He's not necessarily, the most generous guy. But anyway, I bought my coffee and then I left it downstairs. I went upstairs. I pushed on the door, and I pushed on the door, and this guy was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, Yoren or whatever. And then I was like, yeah, I'll wait. Like I was just like, okay. I was just like, bye. And then he kept talking to me, and it was like, wow. It was kind of like he was aggressive or something like. But I mean, there's no way for anyone to obviously know if someone's in a bathroom without pushing on it. But yeah, quite funny. And then anyway, went to this school, met the principal, young ladies there explaining the classes. Basically, this class is for like very, very, very low level students. So like extremely low level, basically like no English whatsoever. So yeah, should be a good challenge. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's work. But it is interesting because every time I have been worried about work or worried about not finding work, work comes. And I think it's a matter of being patient. It's a matter of like putting it out to the universe in a sense, and putting it out to all of your contacts. So anyone in China who's like a bit like they want to do more work or they don't have enough work, just ask everyone you know and it will eventually come to you. And now I'm in a situation where I've just got too much stuff, and I'm not turning anything down yet, but I probably will have to. All right, we've got a couple of people on the chat. So if you've got experience in China of working and wanting work and needing work, and then you get it, let me know or whatever, and share your stories. So basically, what I'm sharing today is like I was worried that I wouldn't have enough work for March, April, whatever, and a lot of work has come in. Particularly, I've got like a dozen classes at this international school, and I've got a couple of new students as well. So a couple of online students through my manager, and yeah, it's looking a lot brighter. And like I said, like if I get some proofreading work or something like that, or some editing work, it's like, where's the time? I got a message this morning saying, come back to Guangdong, come back to Shantou for a few days, and obviously I'll be paid for that too. So it's like all this work coming now, and it's like I had no reason to worry. And my whole life in China has been like this, where basically, work comes to me, work comes to you. And look, here's the thing. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. I know people in China, I know people in Tianjin who, like, they always complain about not being able to get work. But every time, like, work's offered to them, it's the wrong kind of work. It's not enough money. It's the wrong place. This particular guy that I'm doing this work for now, a lot of my friends won't work for him because he pays too little. But do you know this job that I am doing for him this time? He's paying me like not a lot more, but maybe like 20% more. And it's like, that's how it is, that's how it works. Like you might work for someone for this amount for a while, and then eventually you start, earning this amount. And that's how it is, that's how it works in this country. And quite sort of interesting how it all has come about, because I would have never expected this guy to just say, hey, I want to pay you this much for this job or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. And this school is quite interesting because it's in a very old building. So it's in like a building that's like hundreds of years old, maybe like 200 years old, this old warehouse. It's hard to, it's sort of sometimes unwise to run into your workplaces and make little videos and stuff, but basically, or someone's giving me some affection, giving me some love with the smileys and stuff. But that's what's interesting about it, I would say. But what's good about it is it's a lot closer to where I live. I mean, it's like I was traveling an hour and a half nearly, or at least an hour. Yeah, at least an hour on the subway, and then like either a 15-20 minute walk or like a 10 RMB, 15 RMB taxi ride for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. And now it's like I can get the subway there to this new school. I can get on the subway and I can basically be there in a few minutes. Like I can be there in like 12 minutes or like 13 minutes or something like that. Okay, so everybody left. I mean, I'll treat this like a video, so I'm not going to necessarily just talk for hours and hours if nobody's there. But basically, like, yeah, it's just a matter of hoping and praying, not praying necessarily, but it's a matter of just like putting it out there. Every agent hi, I'm looking for work. Every person hi, I'm looking for work. And then when work comes, agree to the work, accept the work. Don't reject the work or say no to the work. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It's just like a big relief. I mean, it's hard for maybe some people to understand, but the thing about like, I guess working in China is that you can make like, obviously it's like the same in every country, but I feel like China's a bit different because you can live in China and you can make very, very, very little in terms of like a salary compared to your home country, and you can live well, and you can, the years can run by and you've been living well. You don't have anything to show for it, but you've been living well. And that's one sort of path to go down. And then there's the other path, which is like working a lot, and you can actually make comparative to your own country sort of income. But to do that, you're going to be putting in the time, you're going to be hustling, you're going to be trying your hardest, you're going to be working late, you're going to be getting up early, all this kind of stuff. But it's like maybe finding that happy medium between too much work and just very, very little work. So yeah, it's really interesting. But I feel like for me, coming from Tasmania, teaching English in China has always been a huge opportunity for me. I'll never forget all of the jobs I did and how hard they were and how pointless they were in a way. like working for like 2 weeks and then you get like $1,000, you know, so that's like basically below minimum wage. Or like working in restaurants, working in kitchens, you know, all of these chemicals. I remember these chemicals I used in this kitchen cleaning the grill. And the grill, when I finished cleaning it, I had to like spray this chemical on and drop it into this bucket full of chemicals. And then at the end of this process, my skin was all red, it was all pink, and it would change overnight. Like when I went to sleep, I'd go to sleep with like pink skin, pink arms, pink hands, and overnight it would change. And then in the morning, like I'd be back to normal. I'd be back to normal. I'd be back to having normal looking skin. But I mean, what was that? You know, like what was in those chemicals that made my face pink, that made my skin pink? And we just accepted it like it was a joke, you know, like, oh, ha 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 ha. You know, when you clean the grill, your skin will go pink. I mean, we just thought it was funny. Even working on boats and stuff like that, like working on boats, on slips and stuff. And I want to be careful because, yeah, I've never worked on a vessel that's gone to sea. I've only ever worked on rivers and harbors and stuff. But you know, working on boats and like working on slips and getting like anti-foul all over my skin, all over myself, and just thinking it was funny and just not even caring, just being careless about chemicals and working really hard trying to make money, trying to be a hero, trying to be successful, and not being able to be. So I've always seen China as a huge opportunity. Some people will come to China and it's like, I guess it's almost like a big joke to them. They're kind of like, oh yeah, like back in my home country, I was so rich, I was so successful. China's like a bit of a joke, whatever. They don't care about money because they think, well, if they want to make money, they'll just go back to their own country. But for me, coming from Australia, coming from Tasmania, especially coming from the north of Tasmania, especially, I always saw like China as a huge, huge, huge opportunity. And I'm very, very, very proud of the fact that I've got like this decade plus of like constant work under my belt. And that's something I just couldn't achieve in Australia. And that's not just because, I mean, I'm not saying there's something wrong with Australia. That's clearly because there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was immature. Maybe I didn't have a lot of confidence, whatever it was. But basically, yeah, you've got to hustle. And in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, I've been thinking, I met this guy who I used to work with in Tianjin, American guy. And he basically is working for an international school now. He's making quite good money. And he was showing me like the pay salaries, the pay scales of these people that work at the school, people with master's degrees, people with PhD degrees. And I was like, wow, you know, like someone with a PhD can actually make that much money. It's just crazy. Like they can make more than an ambassador. I was like, this is insane. And really amazing that people could make such huge money, like nearly over $20,000 Australian a month. And I was like, wow, you know, it made me want to get more educated. But I sort of think like, am I too far gone? Am I too crazy to like study in Australia, to study in an Australian university? Like, am I too, yeah, like, is that something that's just totally unrealistic? Could very well be. If you've come onto the stream at all tonight, thank you very much. I know that it's a bit weird and there's a lot of other cooler, more funny, interesting stuff to watch on YouTube. But I just like, it's a simple message, like in China, probably similar to other places in the world, put it out to the universe that you're looking for work. Put it out to the universe that you're looking for whatever it is. Tell everybody what you're looking for. And it'll come. It'll happen. It'll come. And I'm just feeling totally optimistic and grateful and happy to be in China. And if you're looking for work in China, or you think that working in China will be something you would consider, send me an email, get in contact with me. There are people who are like, and I made a video about this, or I made a kind of doomer kind of video about it, talking about the doomers. The doomers are wrong. The doomers are wrong. And the audiences that watch Sapenza's videos, I mean, I find that to be an amazing achievement, because what he's done is gather all of the most awful, racist, low IQ, stupid, terrible people in the world, basically the scum of the earth. And he's gathered them all in one place and encouraged them to hit subscribe, and they've done it. They've hit subscribe. So, yeah, what an amazing achievement that he's gathered all these people. I mean, his audience has got to be probably the worst audience of people in the world. So, my audience is small, but it's a good audience. It's a wonderful audience. And yeah, don't believe the doomers. The Chinese are very smart people. They are, it's like any country. You've got your smart people, you've got your normal people, but they do have smart people. They do have people that want to do the best for their country, and they are getting out of bed in the morning. It's a huge, huge country. It's a huge, huge single market. Like, if you think about the size of the market, it's huge. So if you think about a European Union type thing, it's difficult to do a lot of things there because you've got France wants to do this, Italy wants to do this, Spain wants to do this, whatever it is. It's not easy to sort of organize it. But in China, you've got this huge, huge geographic area and this huge number of people within it that are very ambitious, that are very interested in making their life better. And it's like the real estate crisis. I mean, personally, I'm not concerned about the real estate crisis, not because it doesn't affect me, but just because the housing will be absorbed. The only issue with it is when people have like paid for a building, paid for an apartment, and they're depending on it to live in, and it's not finished. And it's sort of like, well, what do you do in that situation? But in terms of the prices of like secondhand homes, and yeah, I just don't see, like, even in a third tier city, that's how China works. I mean, you've got a third tier city. The people living outside that third tier city in the counties or whatever, they want to move to that city. A place like Tianjin or Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou, all of the people from those cities want to live there. They want to make their life better. That's how China works. And that's not broken. That's not going to change. Am I worried about tariffs and stuff like that? No, not at all, because at the end of the day, if the tariffs get really bad, what the Chinese can do is call up the Americans and say, look, we'll drop our tariffs, you drop your tariffs. I mean, that's what would happen. That would probably be the best thing that ever happened, because then you're just trading. And yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, that's what will happen. So yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. And if you are interested in coming to China, please get in contact. I trust a couple of people. And when you're first coming into China, it's so important. Find the people that you trust. There's a couple of people I trust. They will not do you wrong. These are, fantastic people, really fantastic people. And Vicky, Zoe, really wonderful people. And they will not let you down. They are absolutely fantastic. And yeah, look, it hasn't happened. But if there was a subscriber or there was someone that contacted me through my channel and was like, hey, Jerome, I'm in this place. I'm having trouble with this. I'd get on a train. I'd get on a plane. That's who I am. I'm not going to leave a person in a bad situation. And yeah, so feel very confident. The Chinese are good people. They're wonderful people. Broadly speaking, I mean, you're obviously going to get one or two bad apples, but broadly speaking, they're very friendly and wonderful and hospitable and warm and all the rest of it. So don't be afraid to come to China. Don't believe the doomers. Don't believe the haters. And yeah, have a wonderful evening.